with those guys that are some of them aren't here anymore. So this is always like a tough 3 days to, practice with, and then obviously, continue to think about those other guys and seeing here how they're feeling and how they're doing. But I think we're ready to go. I know we got the great guys on this team, great 53 guys that's ready to compete and do what we got to do for this season and every Sunday.
How would you compare last year as a rookie, finishing up training camp to this period of time now going into year two?
Yeah, I mean it's a complete difference. Like last year as a rookie, this was still a learning period for me, and still trying to get comfortable and still trying to adjust to obviously the NFL and the speed of the game. But I think with this year, my confidence is at a high level right now. I think I'm playing at just a different level than what I was last year, and just playing fast and not thinking about anything, and going out there and just trying to execute to the best of my ability, whether it's running the ball, running and catching the ball, blocking, everything that I do out there. So, I'm really confident and really excited to get going with the team and with all the new guys, because I think that with this year compared to last year, just the confidence level is different.
Where does that come from? Would you say the confidence level being different?
Just
you or is that the whole team?
I think it's the whole team. Yeah, I know it's me for sure. Just because with coming into year two, I have experience now, and I know the speed of the game, and I played a full year. I think that's with every player that played from 1 year to the next year, is just having a different kind of motivation and confidence and knowing what you're doing without thinking and having to second guess yourself. I haven't been doing none of that this year.
Bijan, what's your main focus between now and game one of the regular season? How do you take that and make a positive impact for the offense as a whole?
Yeah, for me, it's just keeping my body right, keeping my body at a high level, from this point to obviously next Sunday, and just continue to just make sure in practice that we're executing the right way, and we're not missing the little details and the little things, whether it's passing, whether it's running, making sure I step in as a leader for the guys on the offense, and making sure that we're always just doing the little things right, because obviously Pittsburgh has a great defense, so we don't want to mess up anything and make those little mistakes. So we'll be firing off on Sunday.
Speaking of your body, do you put on weight at all, or do you make any kind of body composition changes from rookie year?
No, I'm actually the same weight. Just 220. 220 is my weight, and for me, it's just continue to just maintain it, and I just build muscle. I kind of been the same weight for 3 or 4 years now, and I kind of have a routine. But yeah, just trying to keep that 220 stature, and then I'll be good.
Bijan, have you ever seen Kirk's notes that he takes in meetings?
I haven't seen them. I actually scanned by them one time, but there was a lot going on. Yeah, they're and he's a small, it's a very small writer, so I couldn't really see it. But I know whatever he's writing in there, he's writing for every practice. So whatever he's writing in there, it's probably some really minute, detailed things in that book.
How small are we talking? Can you read it?
No, I can't read it. I can't read it at all. It's
a manifesto of some kind?
Yeah, it's he's his face is to his book, just a little microscope. It's crazy.
How has training camp prepared you and this team for the start of the season?
Yeah, I think this has been a great training camp. Obviously, we work super hard every day, and we take a lot of reps, a lot of, just going back and forth with each other, whether it's ones on twos, ones on ones, twos on ones. Obviously it's been, one of those grindy camps, but I think for us as a team, it didn't even feel like it was super grindy, just because we're having so much fun out there, and Coach Raheem is obviously making every practice competitive, making it fun, making us just enjoy being out there. Obviously we're out there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but it feels like we're out there for an hour, just because we're getting stuff done efficiently, but obviously continue to just have fun and keep doing it the right way.
And how excited are you to get this season rolling?
I mean, I'm excited. I hate this period of time right here, this little bye week that we have, because college football's going on, and it just makes you want to go out there even more. But I'm really excited to get going on Sunday, man. And obviously it's going to get here faster than I think. But yeah, I can't wait.
Where is your headspace? This time, the Bullets getting ready to be live. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's in the right mindset. You know, obviously the Steelers are going to come in here, you know, ready to go and locked in, and obviously we need to, you know, be on that exact same level. But my mindset is clear, it's fresh. Obviously, you know, I know that God has me in the right mindset for this team and for myself. So I'm just ready to go out there, and like I just said, like this waiting period really does kind of suck because you just want to go out there and play.
You mentioned college ball. We can see you in Austin this weekend. A lot of guys go back home.
I'm actually not going to be in Austin this weekend. It sucks just because like I always want to get to a game every time I can, but for the bye week I'll go out there for the game. But yeah, I wish I was there on Saturday.
And what could you tell us about the new offense? We've been able to watch a little bit out here, and just everything's in, and y'all ready to. They ain't show nobody nothing.
Yeah, we ain't show nobody nothing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be, you know, super exciting, a really exciting offense. You know, that's obviously the goal, and you know, to create space against everybody, and you know, obviously just be attacking. You know, extremely physical. You know, that's the main goal, and you know, whether it's the run game, the pass game, you know, make our presence felt. But it's gonna be a lot of, you know, exciting things to look forward to. Obviously, I can't get too much into detail, but definitely just, you know, trying to go out there and play fast, and you know, not having to think, and you know, getting the guys that, you know, need to get the ball in their hands early and often, so we can, you know, go out there and execute the right way.
Bijan, speaking of the new offense, last season we got a chance to see that there were enough balls to go around between you and Tyler. How do you feel about that balance between the two of you this season with the new offense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's a great balance. You know, with Tyler, you know, being by my side, you know, we know how to play off each other really well. And obviously, with me and Tyler, it's going to be, you know, a lot more workload for us too for this year, and just getting it going early, and you know, keeping that momentum up throughout the whole game. But then obviously every single game that we play. But yeah, me and Tyler, we got to get ready. You know, to grind and to make it the most, you know, fun we've ever had playing football. But I love that dude, and I know that, you know, he has my back, and I have his back as well.